and a particularly cowardly act of terror.
He was just walking, not even running.
We just looked outside the window and they were just laying there like dead.
We've lived with this before. We felt the pain before. We go forward stronger than ever. We're not going to let them win.
Terror hits the streets of New York City tonight. At least 8 people are dead, more than a dozen injured after a 29-year-old man deliberately drove a rented truck into a busy bicycle path. Kenneth Craig is live with the latest.
To you from Lower Manhattan, where authorities are literally combing this roadway inch by inch as they try to figure out how this all unfolded and the motivation behind it.
We got multiple casualties. This is a mass casualty situation here.
The deadliest terror attack in New York City since 9/11 unfolded in the shadow of the new World Trade Center.
This was an act of terror, and a particularly cowardly act of terror.
Just after 3 p.m., a white pickup truck jumped a curb and drove onto a bike path running alongside the West Side Highway. The vehicle continued south for several blocks, striking more than a dozen people. It came to a halt when it smashed into a school bus at Chambers Street. The driver got out and started to walk across the roadway. Witnesses said he appeared to be heavily armed.
I just saw him walking down the streets there with his gun in his hands.
Police officers confronted the man. They shot him once in the abdomen. The weapons were not real.
The subject was wounded and transported to a local hospital. A paintball gun and a pellet gun were recovered at the scene.
Federal law enforcement source tells CBS News that investigators found a note inside the truck that made reference to ISIS. The suspect has been identified as Sayfullo Saipov, a 29-year-old Uzbekistan native who lives in Florida. Officials believe he acted alone, and they say there's no evidence this attack was part of a larger plot. We just got word within the last half hour or so that the West Side Highway right here will be closed down until further notice all the way up to 23rd Street. No word if it will reopen for rush hour. I'm Kenneth Craig reporting live in New York City. Send it back to you.
All right, thank you for that live update. We will have another update on the latest on this investigation at 10:30 tonight. We will also bring you any new developments right here on TV as soon as they break, and also keep checking our website and our social media pages. Well, tonight, police made sure sex offenders knew to stay inside as kids went trick-or-treating with their families. News 4's Rachel Monjovi tagged along with New York State parole officers and has new reaction from parents tonight. Rachel?
Nelina, the New York State Department of Corrections set special conditions for this Halloween for those who are currently under supervision for a sex offense. Parole officers went all over the city to almost 100 homes to make sure children and the community had a safe Halloween. Parole. House after house after house. New York State parole officers spent the day checking up on sex offenders living in Buffalo. On one of the busiest kid-friendly nights of the year, it's a reminder to them not to answer the door for trick-or-treaters.
Making sure that they're in the house, making sure that they are not handing out candy or have any costumes or anything that may violate their conditions of their parole.
More than 90 sex offenders got a home visit from parole officers today. Many of the houses kept their lights off and displayed signs like this, warning people not to knock.
Most of them do abide by their parole conditions, especially on Halloween, because they know that we have zero tolerance.
City data shows more than 620 registered sex offenders live in the Queen City.
That's shocking. I knew there were some, but didn't realize there was that many. In my general area? Oh my God.
That's sad. And it's scary at this time of year.
With so many little ones walking the streets and filling their candy buckets, parents say it's just another concern on their list.
It's very important that the parole officers check up on them and make sure that they are not in any way exposed to children.
Just be safe. Watch out. If you know of any of them houses, just stay away from them. Hopefully we have no trouble.
None of the sex offenders agreed to go on camera with us tonight. Parole officers tell me they check up on them throughout every month and monitor them every Halloween. Reporting live, Rachel Monjovi, News 4 at 10.
Rachel, thank you so much for that. Well, this is a live look over parts of downtown Buffalo right now. Kaylee, I saw a lot of trick-or-treaters out there tonight in the Buffalo area. I have to be honest, I didn't travel farther than that, but it was just chilly. I didn't see any rain or snow.
There wasn't much rain or snow, for that matter, in the metro region, and really south of Buffalo, too, stayed primarily dry. So good news for all of those trick-or-treaters. I did, however, want to give you a look at how much rain fell over the last 24 hours, and you'll see Depew picked up over an inch and a half of rain. The Buffalo airport picked up almost an inch of rain, plus a 1/10 of an inch of snow, so measurable on the ground late last night and through early this morning. And then other areas remained just a little over a 1/2 inch of rain from last night into today. Now, you'll notice on the satellite and radar just that one pocket still coming off of Lake Erie, really isolated just south of the metro, and that's about it. Still a little bit trying to redevelop and form over the central portions of Lake Erie, but at this point it does look like it's kind of going to fizzle out as soon as it makes landfall. That's at least what we've seen over the last couple of hours here. Now, even though lake effect is coming to an end, we are getting ready to track widespread rain and a little bit of snow system that's going to be moving in at portions of the day tomorrow. And that's what I want to time out for you here. Notice on the hour-by-hour forecast, I started early Wednesday morning, which will be dry. But by Wednesday afternoon, south of the city of Buffalo, we've got some wet snowflakes to talk about and some rain showers. Those will shift further north through the evening, but eventually move off to the east and dissipate. But that's not it. We've got a second batch headed our way late Wednesday into Thursday. So although the lake effect's over, still plenty of weather to talk about. And we'll do just that coming up in my full 4 forecast in about 10 minutes.
All right, Kaylee, thank you so much. Well, it is that time of the year. Winter parking bans are going into effect. If you lived in the town of Amherst, starting at 1 o'clock in the morning, you can no longer park on the street overnight. Parking bans in other towns will go into effect later in November. Now to a story you saw first on News 4 yesterday. Sam Hoyt, who until early this week ran this region's Empire State Development Corporation, announced he was stepping down early Monday. But the state confirms Hoyt is at the center of an ongoing investigation into allegations of sexual harassment. The woman at the center of those allegations spoke to News 4's Dave Graber. She describes Hoyt as relentless with constant emails, messages, and text messages, much of which she shared with News 4. We are not releasing her identity because she is the subject of a sexual harassment investigation. In one email from August 2016, Hoyt says to the woman, quote, "Obviously, there was a physical attraction. As stated, I'm a flawed man who couldn't control his emotions when I came to you." The email was sent right around the time the woman was paid $50,000 to sign a confidentiality agreement.
Why do you think he wanted you to sign that?
So people didn't know what he did to me. So it would remain quiet. It was a confidentiality agreement. And that was the biggest thing stressed to me, was confidentiality agreement.
That $50,000 was hush money.
Yes, absolutely, 100%.
Hoyt says the relationship was consensual but inappropriate and denies the allegations of harassment. And he says he and his wife agreed to the settlement to save his family from public embarrassment. Buffalo police have released the name of the man who was shot and killed yesterday. Police say 25-year-old Tevin Sapp from Buffalo died after being shot at Thatcher Avenue near Kensington Avenue. Sapp died at the scene. No one has been arrested yet. All new next at 10, we are asking, could hundreds of thousands of students lose access to a doctor?